Are you buying or selling a home? Having a realtor can make buying or selling real estate much easier. HomeGain can recommend and connect you with the top real estate agent in your area. Call 866-512-7918 or visit homegain.com. Did you know, according to a HomeGain nationwide survey, that having a realtor working for you improves your chances by 50% of getting your home sold? HomeGain can recommend and connect you with the top real estate agent in your area. Call 866-512-7918 or visit homegain.com. Are you or someone you know looking to buy or sell a home? When you use a HomeGain Realtor to buy or sell a home, you can get $150. Visit homegain.com and click on the Promo 150 banner at the top of the page to get started. Compare HomeGain Realtors and choose your favorite. Complete your home purchase or sale transaction with a HomeGain Realtor, and HomeGain will pay you $150. Get started today by going to homegain.com.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Washington, D.C. Metro with local expert Ryan Sloper. Now, here's Ryan.
Welcome back, Washington, D.C. Metro, to Ryan Sloper's Real Estate Radio, and I'm joined today by Louis Cammarosano, the general manager of HomeGain. Quick reminder, Real Estate Radio is designed to build the Washington, D.C. Metro's market by giving you good free advice. If you ever have any questions, concerns, or real estate needs, the best number to reach out to us is 877-245-2030. That's 877-245-2030. Or you can go to www.realestateradio.dcmetro.com. Before we ended last break, we were talking about, the potential short sale fraud that's going on out there. But another big thing that was in the media, as of last year and even the beginning of this year was all of the robo signing foreclosures that were going on. And looks like Scott Paltrow with Reuters actually did another investigation that actually showed that these same things that the government was trying to crack down on are still going on even after the last, all the indictments that they had on some of the banks and the big fines and stuff that they were bringing down. Louis, did you get a chance to check out that article? I think we might have lost Louis.
No.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Well, I thought it was interesting because they did a very detailed, investigation on this, and it was, I want to say they went into, one particular woman in particular, an 87-year-old Marjorie Gunter in this in a Florida town, One West Bank, which I believe One West Bank bought out IndyMac. They've recently filed a court document that appeared riddled with discrepancies. This is according to Reuters, by the way. Miss Gunter, who had lived in the house for 40 years and got around the aid of a walker, stopped paying her loan back in 2009. And basically, they wanted to foreclose on the property. However, there was a problem because they didn't actually record the mortgage assignment prior to recording all the foreclosure documents where they were basically trying to foreclose on the house. So they didn't even actually own the mortgage when they had sent in the paperwork to actually foreclose on her. And it's just so crazy to me that this continues to go on. Obviously, we know that these banks aren't staffed properly. They probably have, 20-year-old kids working behind the desk that are signing off on these things. But
you know what else happened, Ryan, with a lot of these banks, because you've had all the mergers and all the putting together of the banks. They continue to do business and they haven't sorted out their compliance.
Not at all. I mean, and this is just, you know how silly, literally all this is like, okay, we now have received this mortgage, we go down, we record the assignment, and as soon as the assignment's there, they own the mortgage, and then they foreclose right behind it. So, really, due diligence, all you had to do was just check and pull a quick little recordation or abstract at the courthouse, you'd see that you didn't have it.
All seems simple, but, when I've seen it, the larger the organization gets, someone's supposed to do that, and someone doesn't do it, and everything just continues to flow along as if someone did it.
Well, I guess it's not really funny, but all the banks, they don't want to modify anybody's loan, right? They don't want to do it because when they actually do the math, people have too many bills now. They can't afford it. They had to take a reduction in salary, and everything else just doesn't look where their ratios should be because you have to have like a 28% debt-to-income ratio to qualify for a modification. Who has that? I don't know. Because when they lent them the money, they had a 50% debt-to-income ratio. So, that doesn't make sense in itself.
Well, it didn't make sense when they did it. Now they're trying to be smart.
Right, now they're trying to be smart. But then they're so smart, though, that they would rather try to foreclose on the property and then not do that paperwork properly. So it ends up costing them even more. Aren't you better to just try to let the loan be modified and just see if the person's going to pay? Because at that point, you still would have saved yourself more money.
Sure, that probably takes too much work though for them to go through that process.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I've taken quite a bit of calls lately about people that were, you know, they actually have been emailing about the HAMP, which is, Obama's home affordable program, and they're asking me, like, well, what do I have to do to qualify? And so I always send them the same link that basically lays out the qualifications. The first qualification is you have to have a hardship there, and typically that means job loss or some sort of medical condition or something like that. But it's funny because the government actually markets that program like it's for, they can help anybody. And to date, I believe only 1 million people have been helped by that program. And all the other mortgages that we have out there that are actually, right now in default, it's really crazy. It was interesting. They went on to say in the same robo foreclosure signing that one of them, a person by the name of Christina Carter, who was an employee of Aquin Loan Servicing, had basically signed thousands of mortgage assignments and documents that from the past year that she probably never even looked at, and just signed her name with just 2 C's. They actually went back and investigated, and there was a huge discrepancy in that, like the actual handwriting of the C's to even say if she had even been reading over those things. And the banks are paying these basically foreclosure attorneys to handle these, and they're not paying any attention to anything. They just want to get paid, so they just sign it, send it on. So it just goes to show you that, I mean, the government got involved. They were trying to step in and prevent this stuff, and it's happening again. They don't have any enforcement to go out and do this. They're going to levy a fine. I mean, they threaten to levy fines, but I don't even think they actually get handed out. So this stuff will continue to happen. It's happening now, and it's going to continue for the foreseeable future as far as I'm concerned. It's just really, I don't know, it just puts a bad taste in my mouth. It's just kind of like, nothing that goes on right now, whether it's the Fed, whether it's our federal government, whether it's any of the government programs that are put in place to try to help people, are really helping anybody. It's all just lip service, and it's not helping our economy. It's definitely not helping the housing market. And I can only see some things getting worse from here. I don't know about you, Lewis.
They're all too big, they're ill-conceived, and mal-implemented.
Well, I do.
The program, I mean, you only have to look at the post office as your shining example.
Yeah.
In government programs, generally, you've had a war on drugs, a war on poverty for the last 40 years, and you still have both of those in spades. So
yes,
you can't expect a government program to solve everything. My view has always been the free market solves things, and they just haven't allowed the free market to run in the housing market.
We haven't had one of those in a while.
No, that started with... I guess during the Roosevelt era, when they decided that home ownership was a national goal.
Yeah.
They had started all these programs, and then you had Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, and all the HAMP. All of these programs, FHA, and so on, they're all, in some respects, hindrances to a rational free market.
But now they think it's a great idea that maybe not everybody should be buying houses. Maybe we should keep the houses and rent them out to somebody else.
Or maybe we should only sell a house to someone who can afford to buy it.
Exactly. Where did the common sense on that go? You know what I mean? Like I said, if we always use common sense underwriting for every loan that we put out there, we wouldn't be in half the mess we're in now.
Well, true, but the common sense back in the times when people were making loans so they can sell them back to Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, which one it was, and then trade them, it made common sense to make bad loans, because the more you made, the more money you made, because the more you can unload them on the government.
Yeah, because you had all the derivatives and everything, which were not regulated. And they're still not regulated to this day. I mean, you have people, and that's the big mess that we're in. I think that's why they're afraid to cut all the, the big departments like you were saying earlier. I mean, all these people's pensions funds, they're not there. They're not going to get that money.
Oh, Social Security's not there either.
Right, exactly. So I think that's the big reason why they're scared to actually cut these big things. You know what I mean? Because they want to keep them in place and try to keep paying them a salary, but that's it. Down the road, I don't see them getting anything out of it. But we do have a bit of bright news. I actually Ronnie Lambeth, who works for Fortress Credit Pros, one of my go-to guys for credit. I'm going to get him on in the next week or so, but he sent me probably about like 7 or 8 examples. It was this past weekend of clients that he's worked with, and I mean, it is just awesome. The first one was of March of this year with Ann. She had 6 out of 7 foreclosures deleted from her credit report. Why I think this is so great is because the banks work with the credit bureaus to basically bring down you, the consumer, and whether it's morally right or whether it's should be on there or should not be on there. They're not reporting things properly to the credit bureaus, in turn bringing your credit scores down. I mean, I'm looking at it right in front of me, and it was 6 out of 7 foreclosures deleted in 3 months. Incredible. The next one was this was from Victor, and it looks like he had 25 out of 27 accounts repaired or deleted, and that was only on the first round of letters that got sent out to the credit bureaus. Next one was they repaired 14 out of 16 accounts for Michael. And, the incredible thing about this is that people feel like they're down and out and they don't have an opportunity to try to get themselves, back in the game where they can get a loan with a decent rate. And that's just not the case. I think don't be the ostrich and bury yourself in the sand. Say that you need help and we can get you help. It doesn't matter. Collections, parking tickets, bankruptcies, foreclosures, tax liens. I don't care what they are. The next one that I had in front of me was from Aaron. And in 30 days, they repaired 88% of his credit report. So he had parking tickets, he had some credit cards, he had an auto loan, and most of which got either deleted and or got lates removed. And the reason why this is I think most people think that it's some sort of joke that these things get removed, but it's not. They always, in the Fortress Credit Pros, they always go by the state and federal laws of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And if these banks or creditors are not reporting information properly to the bureaus, meaning full account numbers, or not reporting a bankruptcy after the actual thing has been filed, and there's probably 50 to 60 to 100 different things that they have to report properly, then they have to be deleted and or made corrected on the report, which most of the time means deleted. So I think that, if you're out there right now and you're in that situation where you're trying to figure out if you have the opportunity to get rid of a foreclosure, short sale, bankruptcy, tax lien, reach out to me, 877-245-2030. We'll be right back after the break.